It's hard to imagine how the song Pull Me Under managed to steal the attention of rock music fans in the 90s, while at that time, grunge dominated the tastes of rock music fans throughout the world. Dream Theater guitarist John Petrucci said, "We got airplay with that song, and that was remarkable." At the time, grunge was starting to take over, so unless you were Nirvana, Pearl Jam, or the like, radio stations weren't interested. But Pull Me Under was the exception. Their debut album, When Dream and Day Unite, 1989, was considered a flop despite frequent press praise. Instead, the band was terminated by the Mechanic MCA label that handled the debut album. They had fired singer Charlie Dominici too because what they saw as limitations with his voice. For 2 years, the band went through a difficult time without a label and without a vocalist, but they did not give up. Until the former Kerrang journalist who had joined the A&R department at the Atco label, namely Derek Oliver, suggested that Dream Theater members write one more song for the album Images and Words. Keyboardist Kevin Moore eventually wrote the song Pull Me Under. He was inspired by Shakespeare, particularly the play Hamlet. At the end of the song, there was a direct quote from the play, "Oh, that this two solid flesh would melt." The song's working title was Oliver's Twist, in tribute to Derek Oliver. The band recorded a demo of the song with Moore on the vocals. "That's the way things worked out for us. Whoever wrote the lyrics would handle the singing on the demo," says Petrucci. "We tended to demo everything." The tape caught the ear of Derek Shulman at Atco Records. Shulman had a stellar track record as an A&R man. He had been responsible for the signings of 80s hard rock success stories Bon Jovi and Cinderella, among others. Shulman had also been the vocalist with Baroque British prog band Gentle Giant, and Dream Theater's complex musicianly approach chimed with him straight away. "I heard the basic demo of Pull Me Under. It was one of 4 songs which persuaded me they were worth having on the label," Shulman recalls. When recording began on their second album, Images and Words, they recruited Canadian singer James Labrie, previously the vocalist for the glam metal band Winter Rose. "I had this idea for giving my voice a raspy feel," Labrie says today. "So I went into the vocal booth and got Doug Oberkircher, the album's engineer, to try some settings that would make me sound a little gruff." Even though the song Pull Me Under is 8 minutes long, it is composed very melodically by guitarist John Petrucci, making it easy for listeners to remember and enjoy it. Derek Shulman agreed. He spotted the song's potential to get the band airplay and put out an edited 5-minute version to DJs across the US in August 1992. To the band's surprise, if not Shulman's, word of the single began to spread. At first, it was one DJ on a radio station who picked up on it and decided off his own bat to play it over and over again, Petrucci says, laughing. And then it spread to other stations. The single Pull Me Under was released in August 1992. When asked why the song Pull Me Under suddenly stops at the end, while at a drum clinic in Atlanta in 1999, Mike Portnoy explained, "We had all this tension, and it just kept building and building, and we had no idea where to take it, you know? So we decided to just pull the plug on it, like the Beatles did with She's So Heavy." In the United States, Pull Me Under reached number 10 on Billboard's Hot Mainstream Rock chart. This is quite remarkable, considering grunge's still massive popularity in the rock world, not to mention the complexity of Dream Theater's music itself. The success that came so quickly made the Atco label decide to immediately make a music video for this song. Petrucci told, "We were on the road at the time, and suddenly the label were really pushing us to get a video done. The only way we could do it was to have footage shot of us on stage and have that edited down. It was all such a rushed job, but this did get onto MTV, which was crucial exposure." The video alternates between clips of the band performing and an obscure storyline. The band members were reportedly unhappy with the storyline, saying that it doesn't have anything to do with the song's subject matter. But the success of the single had wider implications. Dream Theater opened the door for prog metal, especially in the US. Suddenly, an almost terminally unfashionable genre was in the charts and on the airwaves once again. I wouldn't say loads of bands started to copy us, Labrie offers, but what it did was prove to them there was hope for a style of music that was totally out of favor in the early 90s. For Dream Theater, it was the launching point for everything we've since achieved. Mike Portnoy once explained how the song Pull Me Under ultimately saved Dream Theater forever. Speaking to Q on CBC Radio with Tom Power, drummer Mike Portnoy was asked what he hears when he listens to the track. He responded, "I hear a song that changed our lives forever. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I wouldn't be on tour for Dream Theater's 40th anniversary tour if that song didn't blow up the way it did in America." And you often hear the story about Rush, how they were like do or die after Caress of Steel. And luckily, 2112 clicked and they were able to move on from there. It was very much like that with Pull Me Under for us. You know, we had been around for 7 years. We had so many false starts with different labels, different singers, different managers, and it just never clicked. And for some reason, Pull Me Under clicked on American radio and from there spread everywhere else. Even we got up here to Canada and we would do much music.